Hello everyone, my name is Melissa Medeiros and I will be presenting information today specifically for our newly admitted and certified DEN fraternity students who will be joining us this fall. I'm so happy that you have been admitted to University of Southern California. I welcome you and congratulate you again. We're excited to have you with us and to be joining our department in particular. So let's get started. So this is going to be the agenda for today. I just did a brief welcome. I'll do a review of important dates and deadlines. I'll outline our degree requirements. I'll go over important AME department policies, procedures, and tips. I'll provide information regarding DEN advisement, specifically for DEN D clearance, which all of you will have to do each semester in order to register for classes. Introduce the desire to learn online platform, how to log in, and training that's available to you, and provide you with some important DEN contact information. We'll leave time for Q&A at the end, so if you have questions, feel free to type them in the chat box as we go, and I'll be sure to address them at the end of my presentation. So welcome again. I will be your academic advisor for the duration of your master's program. I also serve as the main point of contact for many of my students, whether it's academic or non-academic. I'm here and willing and hopeful that I can direct you in the right direction if I'm not the person who has all the answers. I definitely will help you find it. We have approximately 350 master's students in the department. We have one of the larger DEN populations with about 150 or around 40% of our total population. So you're going to be joining a nice sized group of DEN students, and hopefully we're able to provide you the support that you need to be successful in your program. We also have about 90 PhD students and about 400 undergrad students. So relatively speaking, we are a smaller engineering department here on USC, but I think that this provides a close-knit environment and also a more personalized experience for each of our students. I'm available Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 p.m. Pacific Coast time. Email is fine, but sometimes giving me a call might work a little bit better if it's a more detailed or more specific question or crisis that you might have. If you're ever in the LA area, I'd definitely love to meet you in person. And I also have Skype or any other type of video chat platform that you use. That way we can stay connected in some type of face-to-face format. So I'm going to go over our registration calendar today. So June 1st, which is today, is when our newly admitted students can begin registering for classes. As you may be aware, on my.usc.edu, this is where you'll go to view your permit to register, the exact date and time each semester, so that you're aware of when you can begin registering for classes. August 19th is going to be the last day to register and pay without a late fee. So if you register after this date, or if you do not pay your bill by this date, then you'll receive a $100 late fee. And you'll continue to accrue a late fee every Friday until your bill has been paid. So definitely make sure that you're aware of this deadline. If you have company sponsors, make sure that you're getting those vouchers in before this so that you don't accrue any late charges. Classes start on August 22nd. Depending on if you have a Monday or a Tuesday start class, but that will begin the first week of classes for us this fall. September 9th is probably the most important date to remember for the fall semester. Definitely mark your calendars. This is the add drop deadline. So the add deadline means it's the last day to register for any class, add or swap classes. So you want to make sure that you finalize your schedule by this date. This is also the drop deadline, which means that if you decide to drop a class, this is going to be the final deadline to do so with a refund. There are plenty of other dates down the road that allow you to drop, but this will be the drop deadline with a refund. So if you're thinking of starting out with 2 classes, testing it out for the first 3 weeks, and then possibly dropping down to just 1, you want to make sure that you drop the class by September 9th so that you can get a refund for that second class. September 9th is also the deadline to provide proof of health insurance in order to be waived from the student health insurance. It's the pass, no pass deadline, but really for master students, you should not be taking classes pass, no pass. If you are thinking about it, definitely consult me beforehand, whether that's pass, no pass, or audit, so we can discuss those. And then this is also the deadline for the tuition refund insurance. You'll be automatically enrolled, so you can opt out. And you can opt out on web registration. So there's a button at the top that says My Try, so My Tuition Refund Insurance. The tuition refund insurance provides students who experience a legitimate medical emergency, such as an illness or injury, a full refund if they have to withdraw from all of their classes. So while I hope that you never have to use it, it definitely is a nice safeguard to have just in case. So looking at all of these deadlines, the big ones, August 19th, make sure that you get registered before then to avoid late fees, and September 9th, add drop deadline. Okay, so October 7th is the next big date. It's the last day to drop a course without a mark of a W on your transcript. This date allows you to drop a class, no indication on your transcript, but there will not be any refund since it is past the September 9th deadline. And then the next one is November 11th. So this is the last day to drop a class with a mark of a W. A W does not impact your GPA in any way. But again, with both October 7th and November 11th, there is no refund after these dates, or after September 9th date. We go on Thanksgiving recess, November 23rd through the 26th. Fall classes officially end December 2nd. Study days for finals is December 3rd through 6th, and then your final exams will be scheduled from the 7th through the 14th. We have a short break, winter break, and then spring classes start right back up on January 9th. Okay, so next I'm going to review each of our 8 master's programs in the department. I will cover each of them in this order, so if you wanted to either fast forward or take a stretch break when we're covering a different major than your own, feel free to do so. So first we have the Masters of Science in Mechanical Engineering, MSME. Majority of our students are either in the MSME or MSAE majors. I will cover each of the degree requirements without thesis. Only about 1% of our student population do thesis. As a DEN student, it might be complicated to do research or a thesis project, but I can discuss those possibilities a little bit later on down in the presentation. So for the mechanical engineering program, it requires 27 units. We have 2 required courses that all students will take, AME 525 and 526. These are applied mathematics classes. 525 covers linear algebra and complex variables. AME 526 covers partial differential equations. And then you have 12 units of AME coursework. Ideally, these 12 units will come from one of your specializations. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And 9 units of approved 400 or 500 elective coursework. No more than 3 classes can be outside the department, and no more than 3 classes or 9 units at the 400 level can be applied towards the degree. You need a 3.0 GPA overall to graduate. You must obtain at least a C in each of your courses in order for that course to count towards your degree. However, if you get a C, you'll need to offset that with some B pluses and A's to make sure that you reach that 3.0 overall. Most of our classes are 3 units, so typically students will take 9 classes to graduate. And I talked a little bit about the specialization. So for each of our majors in aerospace and mechanical, we have unofficial specializations. So unofficial specializations do not appear on your transcripts or your diploma. And since they're unofficial, we don't require coursework for each, but we do recommend courses by specialization to help students help focus their degrees and provide them, a good emphasis or a good specialization that will fit their interests or their current job duties or future career goals. So while the courses are listed under each specialization, pertain specifically to that specialization, again, they're not required. So you don't have to formally choose a specialization. You won't have to designate one with me. And sometimes students will do a combination of maybe 1 or 2 different areas to really create a comprehensive program. We have students that might do thermal fluids and energy or design and control. So really whatever's going to create the best program for you to fit your needs, then that's what we can work to do. So for the Thermal and Fluid Sciences, we're going to be offering this fall AME 513, AME 530, and AME 535. AME 535 has a recommended prep of AME 526. Recommended prep means that our faculty have identified that particular course as critical to the success in the subsequent course, but it doesn't restrict you from registering for the class. So it's there for a reason, but sometimes due to scheduling, you may not be able to always take a recommended prep prior, but if you can, definitely take heed to it. With Dynamics and Controls, we'll be offering AME 451, which is a Linear Controls 1 course. If you haven't taken a Linear Controls course in your undergrad, then this definitely would be an option. AME 521, AME 522, AME 524, and AME 541. The prereqs listed there, prereqs means that it's a hard requirement. So you must show proof that you've taken a prerequisite prior to selecting the course. For our DEN students, that means that you'll need to contact me, whoever the owning department is, to have that prerequisite lifted before you request your DEN D clearance. So you will have to take care of prerequisites before your D clearance can be approved. And just a note, AME 451 and 541 will have both lectures and lab. So make sure that you're requesting D clearance for both of those and that you get registered in both of those classes on web registration to prevent any error message. Next we have design, AME 404, 451. AME 503 is our big design class, probably our most popular. It is currently full. There is some talks of possibly being able to offer it in the spring, but if not, definitely plan for next summer or next fall. AME 541, Astronautics 520, Civil Engineering 529A. 529A is a very popular class for our mechanical engineering students. It's finite element analysis, so definitely a beneficial class. And then SAE 549, which is systems architecting. Mechanics and materials, AME 588, again CE 529A, CE 507, material science 551. A note that I'll talk about a little bit later on is cross-listed classes. So SAE 549, CE 507, material science 551 are all cross-listed classes. So that means it duplicates as credit within the AME department. Registering for these classes will not count against the 3 courses outside the department, that limit of 3 courses outside the department. So if you're taking these courses, you have in addition to the Material Science 551, possibly 3 extra outside the department classes. And again, I'll go over that a little bit later on. And lastly, for energy, we have AME 430, AME 513, 578, 581, which is nuclear engineering class that a lot of students really enjoy, AME 505, and SAE 515. Okay, so next I'm going to go over the degree requirements for the Masters of Science in Aerospace Engineering, our MSAE degree. The requirements are identical to the MSME. We have 6 unofficial specializations. Again, none of them appear on your diploma or your transcripts. Your transcripts and your diploma will only read Masters in Science in Aerospace Engineering. For the degree, there's 27 units, only 2 required courses, AME 525 and 526, which are applied mathematics classes, 12 units of AME coursework, and 9 units of approved 400 or 500 elective courses. No more than 3 courses from outside the AME department, and no more than 9 units at the 400 level. This particular degree has 6 unofficial specializations. For each of those specializations, we highlight recommended courses for each, but since they're unofficial, those courses are not required. They're just there to be used as a tool to help focus your degree. Some students will do a combination of a few, maybe 1 or 2 different areas that complement each other well, but the program definitely offers a lot of flexibility and allows you to really tailor the degree to fit your career and academic needs. So for aerospace control, we have AME 451 and AME 541. AME 451 is Linear Control Systems 1. If you have not already taken a Linear Control Systems in your undergrad, you're definitely welcome to take 451 with us at USC. If you've already taken Linear Controls course, then you will just need to contact me to get a prereq waiver for Linear Control Systems 2, which is AME 541. For aerospace design, we have Astronautics 520, which is spacecraft design, spacecraft design control, spacecraft system design, excuse me. And then we have spacecraft aerospace structures, AME 521, CE 507, CE 529A. CE 529A is finite element analysis, which is a very popular course, and CE 541A. Next, we have computational fluid dynamics, aerodynamics, and fluid dynamics, and propulsion. You'll see that there's a lot of overlap between these three specializations, so students will take courses from all three areas and kind of do a combined specialization for aerospace. So we have AME 530A, AME 535A, which has a recommended prep of AME 526, AME 513, Astronautics 470, and Chemical Engineering 530. And again, since there might be a lot of overlap between specializations, so students can also use maybe classes from the Thermal and Fluid Sciences from the MSME to complement their AE degree as well. Okay, next we'll go over the Masters of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Energy Conversion. So we have 5 niche programs or technical degrees which are highly focused. This is one of them. Your diploma will read Masters in Science in Mechanical Engineering, and your transcript will have the full title which designates the energy conversion emphasis. So since it is an official emphasis, the program is a little bit more strict than just the general mechanical engineering. It requires 27 units, 7 required courses, and 2 electives from a pre-approved list of electives from energy conversion or the sustainable infrastructure systems majors. I definitely recommend that you take a look at those links provided there for the specific degree requirements, all of the required courses, and the pre-approved list of courses that you can take as electives. Since this has such a large amount of required courses, I definitely recommend that you get started on your required courses first before starting on your electives to make sure that they get slotted in correctly and that you just get them out of the way. We do have Masters of Science Mechanical Engineering students who take classes from the energy conversion program to kind of create their own energy emphasis while also enjoying the flexibility of the general MSME program. So if you're starting off with this program and find that you need a little bit more flexibility, or there's courses that you prefer to take in other areas or other tracks, then we can always discuss the possibility of switching to our general MSME, where you can have an unofficial specialization in energy, just to give you more options. The courses that we'll be offering this fall are AME 430, AME 513, AME 525 or 526, both are required for this program, AME 578, AME 581, ENE 505, and SAE 515. That SAE 515 is from the Sustainable Infrastructure Systems. So if you're looking for other electives, you definitely can look at the Sustainable Infrastructure System majors to get some other ideas or some other possibilities for electives. Another one of our technical degrees is the Masters of Science in Aerospace Mechanical Engineering, Dynamics, and Controls. The nice benefit is that your diploma will read Masters of Science in Aerospace Mechanical Engineering, and your transcripts will have the full designation of Dynamics and Controls emphasis. It has requires 27 units, 7 required courses, but 2 free electives. So they don't necessarily have to be Dynamics and Controls. They can be from any engineering department, which is a little bit nice. Again, recommend getting your required courses out of the way before you start your electives. This degree has, all of its courses are really sequential. So, you have to take 451 before 541. 541 before 552. So everything is sequential. So it's really important for us to sit down, if this is going to be your major, to sketch out a long-term course plan to make sure that you slot all of your required courses in appropriately and don't prolong your graduation at all. If you've taken 451 already in undergrad, then you don't need to take it for this, but if you need to take it, it can be used as one of your electives. If you have not taken a linear control systems course ever, I highly recommend that you take this your first semester, because it will be the first required course, or the first required prerequisite for a whole host of other courses in this particular program. So definitely discuss with me a course plan moving forward to get you squared away. Next, we have the Master's of Science in Aerospace Mechanical Engineering, Computational Fluid and Solid Mechanics. Another one of our technical degrees. Your diploma reads Master's of Science in Aerospace Mechanical Engineering, and your transcript has the full designation of Computational Fluid Solid Mechanics emphasis. Requires 27 units, 7 required courses, and 2 electives from a pre-approved list. Again, recommend getting all of your required courses out of the way before you start your electives. You can take CE 507 or AME 509 as one of your requirements. 507 is offered in the fall, and 509 is typically offered in the spring, so there is a little bit of flexibility when you're doing your course plan to slot in either the fall or the spring requirement. I recommend that you use the link there to view all of the required courses and for that pre-approved list of electives. Next, we have the Master's of Science in Product Development Engineering. This program is a collaboration between the ISC department and the AME department. I oversee the technology track, and Mary Ordaz in ISC oversees the systems track. So for those of you who are interested in technology, these are going to be the degree requirements for you. It requires 27 units, 4 required courses, 4 electives from a pre-approved list. Your electives can be either from AME, ISC, or SAE to be used as your electives. You can take a few more out-of-department classes with this particular program than some of the others because it is a collaborative program. This fall, we will be offering AME 503, which is full, so you should plan to either take it next summer or the following fall. We'll be offering both of the math classes, AME 525 or 526. Only one of them is required, so definitely take a look at the course descriptions and see which one you think you're more interested in. And then we also will be offering AME 588, ASTO 520, SAE 549, and ISC 545. As part of your electives, you can also consider maybe courses from the Product Development Systems track. Definitely take a look at the link there for all of the required courses and the pre-approved electives for the technology track. Lastly, we have our dual degree. One is in mechanical engineering and engineering management, and the other is in aerospace engineering and engineering management. They are our newest majors added to the department, another collaboration between the ISC department and AME. It's about double the units of the traditional master's, so it requires 48 units. So you really should expect that it will take about double the time to complete. You're looking at approximately 6 semesters if you're completing full-time, and anywhere from 8 to 16 semesters if you're completing on a part-time basis, so that's 1 to 2 classes a semester. The nice thing is that even though it's more units, it definitely gets cut down. Say if you were doing 2 separate master's degrees in aerospace and then 1 in engineering management. We do waive 1 class from the AME side, and then 2 classes are waived from the ISC side. So it saves you 3 courses, or a little over $16,000 by doing the dual degree versus 2 separate masters. For students interested in the engineering management, say if you don't have the time or the financial means to complete such a long program, You can use the 3 electives that are allotted to you for either the mechanical or the aerospace and take engineering related courses. It doesn't give you a whole host of, or a good specialization in engineering management, but it does allow you to at least take some of the courses in that particular area to help supplement your mechanical or your aerospace degree. So that is definitely a possibility. I definitely would encourage you to touch bases with me as soon as possible so that we can work out an effective course plan. Since it's such a long program, what we prefer students to do is outline a way to complete at least one of the degrees first. That way, if halfway through the program you decide to switch to just general AE or ME, you will have already been on track to graduate with one of those degrees. So definitely just discuss with me. The ISC side is a little bit more strict than the AME side of the degree. So you will be working with Mary Ordaz over in ISC to make sure that you're meeting the program requirements for the engineering management side. The degree requirements, 48 units, 18 units of AME coursework, 2 are required, 525 and 526. The remaining 4 can come from your unofficial specialization. And then 18 units of ISC coursework, 2 classes are required. The remaining 4 come from an approved list of electives. And then that leaves you with 12 more units that are approved by either AME or the ISC department. No more than 5 classes or 15 units at the 400 level can be applied towards the degree. You can find all of the degree requirements and recommended courses for electives using the links on the screen. Okay, so now we're going to get into some policies, procedures, and tips. These are things that have, over the years, have proved to be kind of the hot topics, so we'll go through each of them. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to type one into the chat box, and then I'll get to them at the end during our Q&A. So research as a DEN student, it might be possible. It's extremely rare for a thesis, but a directed research might be more possible. So AME 590 is directed research, gives students an opportunity to work on a research project with a faculty here on campus. In the past, I've seen DEN students be successful doing a directed research project when they find a professor who maybe does computational work. So it doesn't require them to physically be on campus in a lab. They can work remotely. If that's something that you're interested in doing, you definitely would want to connect with a professor who does computational work and make sure that your schedule and their schedule is going to be compatible enough to complete a full semester's worth of research. We don't have any DEN students completing the thesis, but it will work essentially the same way. You'll need to secure a faculty advisor who's computational and who can work with your schedule in order to conduct a full thesis project. Only 1% of our students, whether on campus or off campus, actually do a thesis. Most opt to just do directed research. So it still gives them research experience, still a valuable experience that they can use, whether it's just for work or whether they do decide to go on for their PhD. So feel free to contact me if you want to discuss what a thesis or directed research would look like for you. The transfer credit, we get a lot of questions from students who wish to transfer in graduate level credit. USC allows a maximum of 4 units. There's 2 steps involved. It requires you to email me if the course was not taken at USC, email me with a syllabus for the course. And then you'll also need to complete a graduate transfer credit request through Degree Progress. They're going to be looking that you got at least a B or better, that it's from an accredited institution, that the course was not used towards your undergrad degree, and that it's an equivalent to one of our 400 or 500 level courses at USC. If you're successful, then typically we can transfer in up to 4 units, and that way you only have to take 8 versus 9 classes for your program. Change of majors, it's relatively simple. Changing within AME, just let me know early as possible. That way I can recommend certain classes in preparation for that switch. You will not be able to officially switch your major until the final grades have been posted after your first semester. And you need at least a 3.0. So you must complete one full semester with at least a 3.0 before we can officially make the switch. if you're thinking of switching outside of the department, you'll need to talk to that department directly. It's going to be subject to their discretion, your background, have you satisfied all of the foundational courses, but also their class size and capacity. I won't have any say-so in that, so you'll need to work directly with them. And again, the earlier the better. That way they can recommend courses in preparation for that switch. As DEN students, we always recommend that you only take one class during your first semester. And this is really just to help get adjusted to working full-time while also taking grad classes. And we really don't want you to put undue pressure on yourself in the first semester if you're trying to take on a full load and you struggle. So, test it out for the first semester with one class. If you feel like it's doable, then certainly bump up to 2 in the next semesters. We have DEN students that complete the program 1 class each semester, and then we do have some DEN students that are able to manage 2. You're going to be your own expert. So just take into consideration everything that you have going on, your personal life, your professional life, and all of the requirements academically, and decide what's going to work best for you. AME 525 and 526 are offered every semester, including the summer term. I do want to note that during the summer, it's a 6 weeks fast, intensive course session. So, if you're planning to take one of the math classes over the summer, we really don't recommend summer vacations, and we might even recommend taking some time off of work during that 6 weeks. It's really intensive. If you don't have to take a summer class, you're more than welcome to skip it and start fresh again in the fall. It's going to be up to you. But we do not recommend that you take both 525 and 526 in the same semester. There probably are more challenging classes, and we've seen students not do so well when they try and cram them into the same semester. Prerequisites for AME, you'll need to contact me directly. You will need to have all of your prereqs lifted before requesting DEN D clearance. If you submit your D clearance and the prereq has not been lifted already, then your D clearance will be denied. So make sure that you take care of that with me. It's relatively simple. If you're emailing me, please just email me your name, your USC ID number, the course that you're trying to get into, and the course's prerequisite, and whatever course you believe satisfies that prerequisite. So it's pretty simple, and I'm pretty good at getting them out of the way as soon as I receive them in my inbox. I recommend that you refer to the USC schedule of classes for planning purposes. The schedule of class lists the prerequisites for each of the courses, the calendar that I provided a little bit earlier, session codes, cross-listed courses, class description, and there's also important icons. So there's a syllabus, books, and important dates icon. The syllabus is always a helpful tool for students who are trying to look for more information about the course. We always encourage faculty to post the syllabus there. So I will be working with faculty over the next couple of weeks to upload any outstanding ones. If there's ever a semester that you're trying to find a syllabus and it's not listed there, I'd always recommend going back a year or the following semester when the course was offered to see what the syllabus was posted for the previous year, because most likely there hasn't been too much change, at least in the course content. It can give you a good idea. Refer to the AME graduate advising worksheets for required and or recommended courses by major and specialization. So this is really the sheet that I use for each of our students when I am advising you about your requirements. It lists all of the recommended courses by specialization for the MSME and the MSAE. And again, just to reiterate, that the courses listed by specialization are just recommended. So you're more than welcome to take all of them. You're more than welcome just to take a few and supplement in other areas. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Next, I really cannot stress enough that you check and read your USC email regularly. If you have another Gmail account, you're more than welcome to forward your USC email to that account. But a lot of information from the department and the university and the DEN office will be sent to you to your USC email address. And just a note to make sure that when you're emailing us, requesting information about your program status, anything about your record, that you really need to be emailing us from your USC email. That allows for us to ensure that we're talking to the correct student and that we're not sending out personal information for someone who may not be authorized. So definitely please email us using your USC email address, and also always include your 10-digit USC ID number. I talked a little bit earlier about cross-listed courses. Cross-listed courses can be found on the schedule of classes, and they're treated as AME courses, not outside the department. So for MSME, MSAE, you have a limit of 3 outside the department classes. If you're taking SAE 549, EE 543A, and Material Science 561, these are examples of cross-listed classes, so these will not count as out of department. So that means that you still have an opportunity to take 3 more non-AME courses. Lastly, there's a link there for tutorials for help with linear algebra and a few other helpful workshops. We also encourage you to look at Khan Academy for helpful tutorials on calculus, linear algebra, things that might be beneficial to your applied mathematics classes. Definitely a helpful tool. Okay, so how to request D clearance from DEN. You must request D clearances for all of your classes before you can register. Classes that have DEN at Viterbi listed as a location are offered via DEN. So on the schedule of classes, there will typically be a minimum of 2 separate sections if it's offered via DEN, and you'll see that one has an on-campus section and one has a DEN at Viterbi. That is the section number that you'll need to be submitting a D clearance for. If there is a class location on the campus, then you know that that's an on-campus section only. You will request D clearance for all of your classes on the DEN Desire to Learn website, D2L. You will log in, select DEN at Viterbi Tools in the right top corner, click Request D clearance, pick the semester, and then pick the desired course and corresponding section. Usually takes between 1 to 3 business days to get approved, so you can check your status online as well. If there's a little bit of delay, don't be too alarmed. You have to remember that everyone who's newly admitted is registering today, so there might be a little bit of push. So just give the DEN office some time to get through them. Your D clearance expires after 7 days, so register as soon as you get approval. If you see an open spot on web registration, but the DEN system is saying that it's closed, that usually means that the maximum number of D clearances have already been granted, and they still have that 7-day window to get registered. So either continue to check back to see if spots open, or you might just have to wait until a following semester for the class to be offered again if it's full. If you have questions on your D clearance status, please contact Patty Reinhardt. Her email is listed there. But again, just be mindful of that 1 to 3 business days before emailing to request a status check. So this is the Desire to Learn platform. This is where students will do all of their learning for their DEN courses. It might be a completely new system for most students, so you can sign up for one-on-one training inside a virtual classroom to learn about the D2L platform and how to use all of the great features that really will enhance your academic experience here. I highly encourage you to make an appointment for this training, especially since you'll be using this platform for the duration of your program. So you really want to understand all the ins and outs. Where do you submit? How do you pose a question? All of that good stuff. We really want to make sure that you get the most out of this online experience. You can go to the link posted there to sign up for a session. Next, we have some important DEN contact information. All of these people are at your disposal to help with any of your concerns or issues relating to your online experience. So Bianca Riker can help with any technical support, the Desire to Learn training, homeworks. Shirley Shute can help with your exam coordination. Patty Reinhardt, she's in the GAP office, can help with registration or D clearance issues and any policies and procedures relating to our DEN students. And then Susanna can help with tuition deferment or vouchers for those of you who have company sponsorships. So this is definitely an important page. Be sure to highlight it or bookmark it. That way you have these people available in case you ever need anything. Okay, so now I'll leave some time for some questions and a Q&A period. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in your screen and we will go through them one by one. Okay, so I do want to let you know that a recording of this presentation will be available for viewing on the GAP website at that link there. So I just want to thank you for joining me today and congratulate you again on being accepted to USC. This is definitely no small feat. I look forward to meeting and talking with you all in the near future. Hope you have a wonderful fall semester and fight on.
We're going to go ahead and end the recording here, but we'll be available to answer the questions that you submit via the chat window outside of the recording.